live. What's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in at this time. Everybody that's here, I greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. So, Lakers pulled off their first win. Great to see. Look, like I've said in the losses, to me, it's not so much about the wins and losses. Obviously, I want to win every preseason game, but to me, it's what do the main core key guys do? How do they look, right? Are we just getting ran through every game? And yes, because look at it like this. I would rather look great with the key guys that you know are going to play and lose every preseason game than look bad with the key guys and win every preseason game, right? Like, you want to have that. You want to have guys that show out, ball out, show what they're capable of. But, half the guys that play are not going to ever play nor be on the roster, right? But this game in particular was great. For a preseason game, this game felt like a real basketball game, right? I'm not saying that preseason games don't, but there is this level of lack of motor at times, right? Guys are just trying to get in the feel of things. Guys are just trying to run actions, run sets. They're just trying to do and get things organized and figured out for when the games matter during the regular season. But this game from the jump was just like haymaker, and the Lakers throwing haymakers. I mean, Giannis and LeBron are going back and forth. It was just such a great game to see in that first half. I mean, Giannis and Dame both played the entire second quarter in a preseason game. This was a great game. It was a great game, period. But in that first half in particular, was really good. I really enjoyed seeing what we saw with this squad. This back and forth. There were definitely some good takeaways. There were definitely some bad takeaways. Right? I still have concerns about the Lakers defense. I wanted to see Austin Reeves. Now, Austin Reeves, of course, he was dealing with an ankle injury, which is understandable. You don't want to kind of risk him any further, but I really want to see him kind of turn things around. I know I've been really critical of Austin Reeves lately, but it's because he shot 28% from three-point range in the playoffs. The first quarter of the season last year shot 28% from three-point range. Yes, he averaged out to 37%, but it's because he had these pockets, right? We talked about it all year. Again, all of the evidence is here on the channel, right? You'd have these 5-game stints where Austin Reeves was great. And look, I like Austin Reeves. I want Austin Reeves to be great because the better Austin Reeves is, the better the Lakers are, right? But he's had his struggle shooting the basketball, and I was really hoping that he would have gotten more reps this game, kind of hopefully get out of that slump. But obviously you want him to be as healthy as possible. I like Max Christie in the starting lineup. He's the guy that I've talked about. I think that they should. Point of attack defensively. He had the assignment of Damian Lillard and held Dame to what was it? It was held Dame to 2 of 7 from the field, 28.6 points, and held him to 8 points, right? And on top of that, gave you 8 points the other way, right? And on top of that, was able to be the defense, knock down the three ball. I liked that point of attack. I like that athleticism. Obviously, if Austin Reeves can remember how to shoot and get back to being the Austin Reeves we know he's capable of being, then fine, leave it. But if the struggles do continue, I do like the look of Max Christie in the starting lineup for the defense. You're not going to be asking and relying on him to do so much as you have in the regulars or in the preseason, right? He's not going to be taking 10 shots game. He's not going to be high usage. He's not going to be on the ball. He's not going to there's a lot of things that Max Christie and even Dalton Connect are having to do right now in preseason that they're never going to really do in the regular season, right? So no, it's the type of roles. But again, I still worry about our perimeter defense. I still worry about our defense entirely. Really got to continue to work on the defense side of things. There were stretches and stints there with the starters where Milwaukee was getting whatever they wanted. We're getting wide open looks. They were just missing a couple, as well as getting in the middle of the paint and causing some troubles. Giannis just getting out and nobody stopping the ball, no one cutting him off or doing anything, and he's just getting slams, right? There's things here that definitely need to be worked on, but there was a lot of good. You had a good competitive game. The Lakers were competing. The Lakers looked really good in stints. But again, you have the pros and the cons, which is good. Now, a couple key guys that I want to talk about, and I might make videos about it. I'm sure there's going to be questions, comments about it here in the chat. I'm going to get to the chat here in a moment. But like Quincy Oliveri, that dude can shoot, man. That guy's a bucket. I really liked what I saw from him. Jordan Goodwin, right? Scoring wise and shooting the basketball, not so good. But as a defensive rebounder, I mean, the guy had like 4 rebounds in like 6 minutes or 4 minutes or something like that. Like he rebounded the ball really well. He had in 6 minutes, he had 4 rebounds. Yeah. I really like that. Armel Traore, I'm telling, man, I am so high on Armel Traore. I mean, his length, his size, his versatility defensively. If he can develop an offensive game, that guy's going to be tough. He's the guy that I was like screaming, you cannot, like when we let go of Blake Hinson, I was, disappointed in losing Blake Hinson, but I was like, I can live with that as long as we keep Armel Traore. Like Armel Traore, that dude, he's like 6'9". He's got like a 7'2" wingspan. That guy's going to be a problem if he develops into the potential there to be. And then also just his ability to be so versatile out there on the court. But we'll see, right? Time will tell. Like I said, those guys unfortunately aren't going to really play. But let's get into the chat real quick. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. First win, yes. Feels great, doesn't it? Feels really good to finally get our first win, to finally, getting like I said, I obviously I want to win every preseason game, but to me, it's not so much about that. Just like I said in the losses, right? I don't really care about the wins. I don't really care. I loved that our, G League and guys that are going to be waived in like 2 weeks. I like that they really played hard. They stepped up. This was a good competitive game start to finish. But I care more about the core guys. Like, what are the guys that are actually going to play? What are they going to do? What do they look like? How does our offense? How does our defense? How do the different variables play out? Right? I said it at the beginning of the stream. Right? I would rather our guys that matter look great and us lose every preseason game than the guys that matter look terrible and we win every preseason game. Right? So obviously, again, I don't want to downplay the win. I'm excited for the win. It's great to get the win, right? I'd love to win the rest of the way, but I care about how do the main guys look against their main guys. And I thought we looked good. I thought it was a good game. Tell me Oliveri isn't better than Jalen Hood-Schifino with the straight face. I mean, scoring and shooting wise, absolutely. Right? Like, but there's more to scoring and shooting, or there's more to the game of basketball and scoring and shooting. Right? Like, look, I still don't think Jalen Hood-Schifino is all the way there yet, but you've seen all the tools. Defensively, being able to get after it, running an offense. His mid-range has been money, has been better. He only took 2 shots, only played 8 minutes, so he didn't actually get the opportunity that he's gotten in some of the previous games. You've seen the things from Jalen Hood-Schifino that you want to see, but he still definitely needs some work. He definitely still needs to grow. I wouldn't hate him in like spot minutes because I do like his size and his physicality, but definitely needs some work. But I like the growth that you saw from year one to now. I think that's been very important. Look, again, I'm not trying to take anything away from Quincy Oliveri. He looked great in this game. He looked fantastic in this game, right? But defensively, can he get after it? What else can you do besides shooting and scoring the basketball? Rebounding, he looked great rebounding the basketball. I like that. He had 5 rebounds, and he did it all in 9 minutes. I mean, he looked fantastic. He was a plus 20 on this game. Dude can shoot with the best of them. Dude can light it up. But you got to keep in mind his age as well as what else can he provide you on the basketball court. I want the Lakers to keep Oliveri, right? When you waive him, sign him to a G League contract. If we need a guy at some point, right, say we pull off a trade, Lakers are trying to find a center. If you can pull off a trade for a center, then go and make the move. But again, like Jalen Hood-Schifino has shown versatility on both sides. Oliveri, this is our first real stint. I'm not saying he isn't. I don't know yet. I've gotten 9 minutes of action where he shot the lights out, which is great. and he grabbed 5 boards. Again, I'm not saying, but I also can't overreact, right? I also can't be like, yeah, cut everybody. Man, Quincy Olivari, let's put him in the starting unit. Like, again, he went undrafted for a reason, right? He doesn't have a team for a reason, right? So I want to see regular. I would love to see him get some quality minutes the rest of the way and see what can he provide and can he consistently put that effort out there. So again, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, Bro, I watched the first 3 quarters and basically missed the fourth because I was ordering Firehouse subs about to pick it up. Who went off in the fourth quarter? It was really a collective effort, but Dalton Connect had I think he had 8 or 10 points in the fourth quarter. Quincy Olivari just shot the lights. So he gave you 11 and 9 minutes of action, right? It was a good effort. You had guys like Mel Traore really hustling, grabbing offensive boards, giving us second chance points. Colin Caston had a couple nice plays. It was definitely a very collective effort. Bronny is a scrub. We win if we don't play it. Well, I mean, he was the 55th pick, and he is definitely a project. Was he shooting threes? Yes. Quincy was a beast. I knew it would be him. Yeah. Shooting. He's good. He's shooting. That's what he was known of. Him and Blake Hinson were looked at as 2 of the top, if not the best 3-point shooters in this draft class. Get Bronny out of here. Quincy needs to play. Bronny's on a guaranteed. Giannis is a beast. Yes, absolutely. Yes, pull up threes off the dribble. Quincy Olivari. Connect had some nice sequences down the floor, but Quincy Olivari, he was fantastic. Yes, love it. And playing defense full court. Have you noticed every time JJ calls a timeout, Lakers going to run, Olivari carried? Yeah, that's what happens when you actually understand momentum and game flow. And when a team goes on a run, you put a stop to it. And then when you're on a run, you let things go, and you need a bucket, you draw up a play. When you actually have coaching and you have an understanding of how the game plays, that's great. JJ Redick called an early timeout when they went on it was like a 6-0 run. They kind of just recalibrate and be like, hey guys, they're coming. They're coming after it. Right? Credit the Milwaukee Bucks. They came out serious. I think it's because of Darvin Ham. Call me crazy, but there was a lot of conversation the last few days about Darvin Ham, how the Lakers hated Darvin Ham and yada, yada. And Darvin Ham was a Milwaukee guy, right? He has a great relationship with Giannis, who came out blazing, Bobby Portis, who came out blazing, right? Kind of feels like guys were kind of like, all right, we've heard all the noise about Darvin Ham and really showed up, because this felt like a game. This felt like a real, this mattered. Milwaukee came out swinging. Milwaukee played hard, and I really loved what I saw from the Milwaukee Bucks. Really pushing and challenging the Lakers, right? Because that's what you want, right? Again, preseason is preseason. It's about kind of working on things. You're trying to figure stuff out. You're trying to gear up for the regular season, get your legs under you, stuff like that. But to see the Milwaukee Bucks take this so serious, I loved it. Right? And I felt like JJ Redick did an excellent job. Like Easy Money said, excellent adjustment or great adjustment by JJ. I'm right there with you. Good win for the bench players. When are we going to admit Jalen Hood-Schifino is not good? He's been fine the last few games. 8 points, yes. JJ got his win against Ham, yeah. And I love it, first game. But we need that in the regular season, though, too. Olivari is legit better than both Bronny and Jalen Hood-Schifino. I like the way he runs the point. Olivari, shooting-wise, I liked how he was pressing out on the defense. Like I said, I need to see more. I really like what we saw from him. I really enjoy it. Again, I don't want to take away from Olivari. I think he's great. But can he consistently provide that? Can he consistently play to that level, right? Again, you got to keep in mind, this guy went undrafted, right? We got to take the good with the good. I'm as hyped as everyone else, but we can't already trade D'Lo, get rid of Reeves. We got Quincy Olivari. Let's take things as it is. I loved what I saw from Olivari. He was fantastic in this game, but I really want to see consistency. right? I'd love to see him can we get him quality minutes between now and the end of preseason? The other concern is, though, if you do, and he does continue to play this way, you're probably losing him if you're the Lakers. Let's see, preseason champs confirmed. Dude is not good at a single thing on the court. Are you talking about Jalen Trevino? Jalen Trevino played this game, 8 minutes? If you look at the previous 2 games, his first game, he gave you 6 assists with 0 turnovers, played some really great defense, and gave you gave you 11 points, something like that. And then the second game, follow that up with good rebounding, good defense, playmaking. He's shown the ability to run the offense. What else is he supposed to do? What do you think the Lakers need to work on from today's game? Definitely the defense. Defense needs to improve. Milwaukee was just getting way too many easy looks, way too many easy opportunities. We're able to just kind of get into the paint heavily. Guys got to hit shots. Guys really struggled to hit shots this game, which is, it's preseason. Better to do it now than during the regular season. Even LeBron and Anthony Davis weren't great. Anthony Davis was 4 of 11 from the field, something like that. Here, let me pull that up. LeBron was 4 of 11, 2 of 4 from 3. He continues to shoot threes very well. He was 2 of 3 in the previous game. And then Anthony Davis was 5 of 14, 0 of 4 from 3 with 11 points. Him and LeBron. Outside of Rui and the starting unit and Max Christie, our starting unit. So basically LeBron, AD, and D'Angelo Russell, our main 3 guys, all shot poorly. D'Lo was 3 of 10 from the floor. He did have 5 assists and 2 turnovers. But Anthony Davis, 5 of 14, and LeBron 4 of 11. Not great. Definitely need to start hitting shots. But overall, again, I thought that there was some stuff that went well. Thought there were some good takeaways from there, but still have real concerns about the defense of execution. Consistently playing high-level defense and getting stops. All of our defensive players clearly seem to be in the bench unit. At some point, you may need to find some balance. You may need to kind of start looking into changing the rotation a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. And let's see. Next up, how old is Quincy? He may as well be our 17th pick. Have him our project. He is 23 years old. So he's older for a guy, which is if he was 19, he would have been drafted. But at 23 years old, teams kind of were like, I like him. I like him a lot. I really do. I liked what we saw in him in preseason or in Summer League. He was very inconsistent in Summer League, which is why I want to wait and see, right? He had this game in Summer League, this exact game where he came in at the end of the game and just shut the lights out. And we ended up winning that game. Literally carried us to a win, right? But he played all the other games and he was he might as well not even been on the basketball court, which is why I'm not ready to crown him king yet, right? I need to see the consistency. I like what we've seen from him. I'd love to keep him on. Problem is that if he does continue to play and he does continue to play well, Lakers are probably going to lose him. Somebody's probably going to swoop in and take him. Lakers still need to trade for another. Lakers need to trade for a center. They need to trade for a lot of things, several things. Winning feels so good. Agreed. I don't think Bronny should play the rest of preseason, go to the G League, and get better. This is tough to watch now. Well, if he was ever going to play, it is the preseason, and G League isn't out yet. So he's going to spend the year in the G League. He'll probably play a handful of games this season. He'll get the first, Bronny LeBron game, first game of the season. He'll probably play 5 minutes with LeBron. I can see him playing in Cleveland against Cleveland just because it's where LeBron is from. There will be those moments, but yeah, Bronny has said himself that he's spending the entire season in the G League. Is Dalton Connect really that good? From what I saw, he's pretty bad. Defensively, he's not great. He definitely has his issues defensively. He can be inconsistent at times. He's very hot and cold, but he's a rookie, right? What do you expect? He's not going to come in and be, prime prime Klay Thompson, probably a better comparison. Prime Klay Thompson right out the gate, right? Like things take time. He's got to get his legs under him. We've seen him have great games. We've seen him go and drop points. And I mean, he was a big part of why we won this game down the stretch. Also, you got to keep in mind, Dalton Knecht is going to be playing a very different role once the season actually starts, right? But I mean, he gets after it. He's got athleticism. He works hard. He gave you 13 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal. He only had 2 turnovers, right? Like, was getting after it on the defensive side. Like, he had 6 offensive rebounds, so he was keeping balls alive. I mean, what are you expecting from him right now, right? Like, you're expecting him to come out and drop 30 a game? Like, get it. He just got in the league. This is only his 3rd real game, right? So you got to let guys kind of get in a rhythm, get his legs under him. He's learning the adjustments of the speed of the NBA, the physicality, right? Like, it's not easy to go from college to the NBA. Like, it's a completely different game. You got better athletes, you got more size, you got more physicality, you got better just skill and overall talent, right? There's a lot of things that go into the NBA. Right? He's been great from what we've seen, right? I don't think he's ready. Like, a lot of people want to see him, bench Reeves and start Dalton Knecht. No, he's not anywhere close to that yet. But in a limited capacity role where you're bringing him in like the Taurean Prince role, he's fine, right? He's going to get after it. He's going to help rebound. He's going to knock down shots. You're not going to be asking him to do everything. Right now, it's preseason, and he's playing at the end of games, the entirety. He played 34 minutes. He got 16 attempts. He's not going to get 6. I would be shocked if he gets 16 attempts, if he gets more than 10 the entire season, right? Unless he just is insanely hot and goes 9 of 10 from 3. He's probably never going to get those types of attempts. He's never going to get that role and opportunity right now, at least. Eventually you're hoping he gets there and he can actually be a key piece. But this season, you're looking for him to just be a movement shooter, catch and shoot 3 guy. They're not looking for him to be this hey, we need you to be high usage on ball and go win games for us, right? We're not looking for him to be a superstar out the gate. I was getting ready for another loss, but that fourth quarter woke me up. I feel it. Let's see. Jalen Hurts. I'd love to hear. I wish there was audio. I'd love to hear people's analysis for why Jalen Hood-Schifino looks like a bust. I don't know if we're looking at different things, but Jalen Hood-Schifino's been fine. I mean, he's not a superstar. He's not ready to be the starting point guard, but he's shown the ability to play defense. He's shown the physicality. He's shown the ability to run an offense. He's shown that he can score, right? Apply rim pressure, get to the basket. He needs better control and better finishing. But again, he looks like a guy that is in year 2, that is a project that is learning to grow and develop. He's clearly taken strides. I don't know where, he's been fine. He hasn't been a superstar. He hasn't been great, but he hasn't, he's been far from a bust. He's been one of our better players considering the role that he's playing of the young guys. That's a cool win. Yes, agreed. Let's see. Take the cap. Show us the front. It's just a Laker hat. Just says Lakers. But then you get the shadow. So that's why I don't do that. My hair's all jagged. I need to divvy it up. Got the cap hair. Let's see. Also, what happened to your son's channel? It's still going. It's just school and everything like that. Gotta face it. But yeah, we're still posting weekly videos and shorts. Been trying to rack up the subscriber count. So I've been posting a lot more shorts. So if you don't want shorts, you're probably not going to get recommendations for that. But no, yeah, we're still posting regularly on it. Just kind of doing the shorts thing to kind of stack subs because we're not far from the watch time. I just need the subs. So we're at 750 subs on that. So yeah, still active. Dalton will be good, but he is inefficient right now. He should hit the G League early in the season. Again, he's playing a completely different role than what he's going to play on the season, right? You're looking at him playing a star role right now. He's not there yet, but he's not expected to be. The Lakers aren't looking for him to be that, right? He's exactly what this team needs. He just Is he inconsistent? Yeah. I mean, he's not, I wouldn't say inefficient. I'd say inconsistent. It's probably the better form of that. Jalen Trevino and Bronny are very young and need a lot of time to work. Jalen Trevino, I don't think is that far, right? Like, I think as soon as next season, Bronny is a good probably 3 years away, maybe 2, depending on, because Bronny is an animal work ethic wise. Say what you want about Bronny. That dude has been. I mean, even they did a poll with other teams' GMs, and they all said the same. Like however you feel about Bronny, whether you think he's a bum or not, that dude works insanely hard, and he does. Right? I was talking about it when months ago. Bronny works hard. However you feel about Bronny James, that dude works his tail off. So maybe it'll be 2 years, but Bronny's a couple years away. Jalen Trevino, he's probably a year away from being like backup, like being your primary backup. He's probably like 2, maybe 3 years from being your starter level, which is fine. Again, he's young. He's younger than Dalton Connect by like 2 years. So, having Mech start for Reeves' absence was a really good choice. Agreed. Look, I've made the argument of actually just starting him. Not gonna lie, Connect got to come out the bench because when he plays with Braun and AD, he doesn't shoot the ball. He always looks to pass. Yeah, I mean, well, again, when you're with your role, regardless, with LeBron and AD on the court is going to be very different than with them off the court. But also, again, everything you're seeing from Dalton Connect right now, you're not going to see in the regular season. His entire role is going to be to defend, come off pin downs, and be a movement shooter, right? Like, Tyler, tell me exactly what realistic moves you would make at this point if it were up to me, I would do D'Lo for Cam Johnson at the deadline, give you a legit two-way player that you can legitimately rely on. However, knowing his history, if he's injured, D'Lo for Dorian Finney-Smith. Right now, I mean, obviously this could change depending on how the season looks and how the season shapes up, right? Like, if guys start emerging better. Now, if, say, I don't know, Rui Hachimura all of a sudden becomes a better consistent defender, right? Like, maybe things change. But two things we really need. We need athleticism out on the perimeter, either at the 3 spot or the 2, or guard spot. So we either need like an athletic two-way wing, or we need an athletic point of attack defender, right? So to me, I would look to go get, like, you could get Cam Johnson, sure, but I would prefer, if you can get Jeremy Grant for the same price as Cam Johnson, I would rather go get Jeremy Grant. I just think Jeremy Grant's better all around. Both guys have injury issues. Both guys, like, everybody that's available right now, and that's something that I don't think a lot of people seem to understand. Like, even when I talk about Zach LaVine, right? A lot of people are like, well, Zach LaVine's injury prone. He's played more games than all these guys, right? The last few, if you take out last year, which he played 25 games, but he also was supposed to finish the season until the Detroit rumors came out. But before that, he played 77 games, then he played 67 games, then he played, I think it was like 62, 58, 60. The guy's averaging 65 to 70 games a season, right? Which is the norm, especially for stars, right? You look at, like, the most games Cam Johnson has ever played in a season is 66, right? Jeremy Grant only plays like 60 games a season, right? All these guys are injury prone, right? All these guys you're probably going to miss time, right? Like, so to me, that's why I always say, like, I'd rather have the bigger upside guy. And I just think Jeremy Grant is the bigger upside guy. But Jeremy Grant also has to be the same price as Cam Johnson, right? Like, if they still want 2 firsts and they never relent on the 2 firsts, then no, you got to go with Cam Johnson. But you need a legit 3-and-D guy, either at that point or on the guard position. I still really like the idea of Bruce Brown. Obviously, you need to see him healthy, but he gives you basically everything you need. Right? Obviously, the 3-point shooting is a bit concerning, but we've seen how good he operates in this type of system. Denver runs a very similar system, and he killed in that system. So I believe that he will be fantastic in this system. So to me, I really like the idea of like if you can't get a Cam Johnson or you can't get Jeremy Grant or something, go get like a Bruce Brown. Need to get a center, right? So I've said before, I don't hate the idea of Clint Capella because he's a $20 million expiring contract. So he gives you flexibility for next season. And also, if it works and it's great, you can just sign him to like a Giannis Valanciunas deal. If I'm being honest, I think chances are Giannis Valanciunas will be a Laker at some point this season. And then I think they'll make a move for like some 3-and-D guy. I still really like Zach LaVine, and I do think that that's really, really realistic. If I'm the Lakers, I'm waiting to see if he's healthy first, right? Like I'm giving it the first 25 to 30 games before I even consider Zach LaVine because you want to make sure, is he healthy? If he's not healthy, then, or if he's showing signs of like potentially wear and tear, then I'm staying as far away from that as possible. But if he can start showing like, hey, he's looking good, he's looking healthy, he looks like he's going to play 60 plus games this year, then I would go grab him personally. But yeah, Lakers have clear needs in that manner. I need the Kessler trade. I really want the Kessler trade also. Armel Traore, I'm telling you, man, I really, really like Armel Traore. I really think Armel Traore is going to be fantastic. Like genuinely. Still a project, but I think he's going to be really good. Cam Johnson is a great player, but is an injury machine. I want him though. Like I said, I like Cam Johnson a lot. But he is an injury machine. Like I said, the most he has ever played is 66 games. That's not good. He's ass, bad defense, cannot run the offense, left mass up. I disagree, but if you see it that way, then fine. Jalen is fine. Yeah, his shot just can't fall down. His 3-point shot, his mid-range has been money. He still needs to work on his 3. He still hasn't been able to shoot his 3. But he also hasn't taken like a ton of attempts. Right? He's not getting the sample size. But let's see. I don't know, Tyler. I think Portis was just making everything. We contested well on a lot of his shots. Our offense wasn't very good, in my opinion. I think that was the main issue. No, Bobby. I'm not talking about Bobby Portis in particular, but like for example, there were several times where like Damian Lillard was just beating guys off the dribble and just getting into the teeth of the defense and just either making plays or just elevating over the top. Giannis is just getting down. And look, I understand it's Giannis. Like, that's what he does great. But, like, no one's even trying to cut him off. No one's even rotating to even – like, I'd rather you give up an and one than just stand there and watch him dunk, right? Like, you had guys who was it? Victorian Prince got, like, 2, like, just, like, nobody even, like, paid attention to him out there on the basketball court, right? Like, I just need to see the defense sewed up a little better, right? Like, they're not They got to just be more, what's the word? Blanket on the word. But they need to be more refined and on their defense side of things. Bobby Portis was just shooting the lights out. Yes, I agree with that. I just don't see how we're going to win a championship with slow-footed players. Transition defense is terrible. Our set defense is decent. I mean, look, there's ways to do it. I mean, Lakers are going to be a top 5 offense at worst. So they're going to have the offense in order to do it. It's just, will they be able to be consistent enough on the defensive side of things? Plus, you're going to run different looks, different lineups. Right? Like, again, you can only gain so much from preseason. There's only so much you can really gather as far as like how things are going to look, right? Like, even the lineups and rotations that you're seeing right now, almost none of it is actually going to be on the actual NBA games, right? Like, because 90% of the guys that are playing are either A, never going to see the court, or B, are not even going to be on the team, right? So it's hard to really gauge exactly how things are going to play out, how things are going to look. But it's just about efficiency, right? If you're generating good offensive efficient looks, and you're generating easy offense, then that gives you more energy on the defensive side of things, which guys aren't great, but Austin Reeves has been good. It's actually been very good defensively. As critical as I've been of him shooting the basketball, he's been very good defensively. Rui Hachimura, you just need him to be serviceable. Same thing with D'Angelo Russell. I do think changes will be made at some point. I do think either Max Christie or ideally Jared Vanderbilt will be inserted into the starting lineup at some point, and that will kind of change things a little bit. But yeah, he just wants to. But Darvin Ham and Doc Rivers, the Bucks just want to lose the effect. As a LeBron fan, Bronny should play in the G League. First development. He is. I mean, he said it. The Lakers have said it. He's spending the year in the G League. He's going to play a handful of games this season, but yeah. Look, there's good and bad with Bronny James. He's a project. He needs work. Look, I've said it before. If he was anybody else besides LeBron's son, people would be hyping him up right now. Right? He's shown excellent defense at times. He's got a great athleticism. Right? Like he needs to work on his shooting. He's applied rim pressure. You've seen that. He just needs to get better mechanics at finishing around the rim, right? Like, he's a project. He was the 55th pick. If he was the 17th pick, I can understand a lot of the criticism. I can understand a lot of the frustration. But some of the stuff we've seen from Bronny, right? Like, if he was the 55th pick and it was a different name and it had no relation to LeBron, most people would be like, man, he's going to be really good as a two-way guy, right? Like, but because it's Bronny's son, everyone's like, oh, he's trash. He can't do anything. Defense sucks. Like, give the kid time. Reeves, Vando, Johnson, Braun, 80, Gabe, Max, Wood, Kessler off the bench. I would love something like that. Love something like that. Anybody that's not a scorer, a bucket getter, is a bust in most people's opinion. That's why Jordan, most people go. If you like basketball as a whole, you know LeBron's go. Yeah, I mean, even just in general, most people, if you can't score 20 a game, people think you're trash. Like, again, I don't like. There's more to the game of basketball than putting the ball in the hoop. Right? Obviously, that's the end goal, to have more points than others. But that's why you have your stars. That's why you have your guys. Not everyone has to be a superstar. Like I've even said with Bronny. Right? Like, he doesn't have to be a superstar. If he's just like an athletic Gabe Vincent, that's huge. That's great. If he could be your primary backup point of attack, Avery Bradley type, George Hill type, right? Like, if he just worst case scenario becomes that, that's fine. Not everyone has to be a superstar. People just look at it and go, oh man, this guy didn't drop 30 today, so he's trash. Right? Like, people are looking at Jalen Achifino and are like, oh, he's not giving you 15 a night. Bum. But they're not looking at the defense he's playing, the assist to turnover ratio. They're not looking at the efficiency that he's creating out there on the basketball court, the physicality, the size, the way he is able to drive to the rim and literally bump guys bigger than him off, right? Like, that's good. Like, there's a lot of great things with Jalen Hood. But people look at it and go, he's a bum because he's not giving you 30. Let's see. Even if Jalen Achifino will be good, why would you draft an NBA-ready player instead of a known project? I mean, there's a million reasons, right? Like, one, okay, so look at it like this. So who is NBA-ready? Right? Jaime Jaquez. I know a lot of people look at Cam Whitmore. Cam Whitmore couldn't even get minutes consistently with the Houston Rockets. You think he's getting minutes consistently with the Lakers? No. Right? Cam Whitmore was a project and still is a project. He still needs to grow and develop. He's incredibly inconsistent at times. I watched him a lot in Summer League too, even. And he, at times, looked bad. But then he had times where he was great. And he has the athleticism, and people look at that and see, oh, go, wow, ooh, look at that, right? And see a bucket getter. But they don't look at all the other things. Him just not even trying on the defense side of things. Him just turning the ball over. His shot selection at times, right? Like, there's a lot of things that people are not analyzing when they're looking at these players, right? Jaime Jaquez would have been great, right? Don't get me wrong. What we saw with Miami, Jaime Jaquez, ready now NBA player, UCLA kid, right? So would have made a lot of sense. Where does he slot in? Like, where does he play? Right? Miami needed him because they didn't really have Waynes, and Jimmy Butler missed half the season. And so he was in a position where they really needed him, right? But, like, who is he getting minutes over? And especially under Darvin Ham. Right? So, like, yeah, you get Jaime Jaquez. He's probably just sitting on the bench all year. Right? So, everybody, you know what's happening if we draft Jaime Jaquez? What are the Lakers doing? They drafted Jaime Jaquez when you could have gotten Cam Whitmore, or you could have gotten this guy, or you could have gotten that guy. This bum can't even get minutes. not even realizing that, one, there's no real fit for him. Two, there's Darvin Ham Darvin Ham wouldn't even give Max Christie consistent minutes when we needed it. Spencer Dinwiddie, we needed all season long, desperately. And Darvin Ham played him as a 3-and-D wing rather than in the D'Lo role off the bench, which we needed desperately. And then one game, D'Lo misses, and it's the only game we won without D'Angelo Russell. Spencer Dinwiddie plays the D'Angelo Russell role, and he drops, 26 and 8? And Darvin Ham goes, let's move him back to the corner. What are we talking? And you want me to trust that he's going to be able to maximize Jaime Jaquez? You want me to believe that he's even going to play Jaime Jaquez? Again, it's all perspective, right? Like draft, where you end up getting drafted is a big thing. There's a lot of guys in this league that were great and became great because of where they went, right? Why am I blanking on his name? Darn it. SGA. If he doesn't go to the Thunder, are we even talking about him to the scale in which we're talking about him? Jalen Brunson. If he stays in Dallas, right? Do we even talk about him the way that we're talking about him? Right? Opportunity and where you're located and all that stuff matters. Jaime Jaquez we're talking about. Jaime Jaquez we're looking at because he was on Miami and actually played a real role and was great in that role. But who's to say he plays that same role on the Lakers? You think Darvin Ham is playing Jaime Jaquez over Taurean Prince 40 minutes? No. Like, again, it's understanding the situation, right? Let's see. I seen a post saying Lakers are in talks with the Hornets for a trade. Who you think that person could be? If it's the Hornets, I haven't seen anything about that. I also been busy the last few hours, with the game and just getting videos and things together. So it's very possible that could happen. I hope it's Nick Richards. Right? I do. I hope it's Nick Richards. Problem is, like, the Hornets have been starting Nick Richards, but my guess, again, I haven't seen the post. I don't even know if that's real, right? Because there's a lot of like fake stuff that goes around. But my guess, going under the assumption that it is real and that post is legit and they are talking, but you got to keep in mind, talking and actually getting it done are two very different things. But let's go under the assumption that they are talking to the Hornets. I hope it's Nick Richards. I hope that they're able to kind of work something out. And we got from Shams earlier that the Lakers are active in trying to trade for a center. So my guess is Nick Richards. I would make Colin Sexton, Walker Kessler trade like yesterday, everything we need in two players. I made the same argument. And you could kind of argue and justify to Utah, like, hey, we're taking on Sexton's long-term money, right? I don't hate it. And you get a lot of the same stuff D'Lo gives you, just better athleticism and rim pressure. I would make Cam Johnson trade for age and future when LeBron leaves. Problem is, like, based on Cam Johnson's injury history, man, he might be as old as LeBron. He just can't stay healthy is the problem. I would love Day'Ron Sharpe. Would the Nets actually trade him? Let's see. If our 7th through 10th roster guys can hit shots, we can make a run. Yeah, agree. LeBron is so happy in this all young guys like Variano Melchior. Yeah, I mean, you can see the energy. Like, look at our bench. Look at how guys were active and excited and fresh. Like, the vibe is just very different. Very different. They got to go get Kessler, man. 9 points, 15 boards, and a few blocks. I like Kessler a lot. I've talked about. I mean, his per 36 is like 14, 12, and 4 blocks. That is. I want Walker Kessler. Supposedly they want 2 firsts. I wouldn't trade 2 firsts for Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler is still a project, and you need the flexibility to do other things. But if you can trade a first and lift protection on the other first that we owe the Jazz, I would do that all day. Here you go. I'll even give you a couple seconds. Yeah, go get him. Better than anyone else in the playoffs, bad defense gets exposed over 7 games, which is my concern, right? I mean, you were here all last year, even when the Lakers were 9-0 and everyone was celebrating and lighting fireworks and, oh man, Rui in the starting lineup, Lakers are the best. I kept saying over and over and over again, yes, offensively they look great, but they can't stop anybody. What happens when the offense gets a hold? And lo and behold, Lakers offense is cooking. Lakers are up 20. Denver who? Denver's trash. Forget Denver. Man, Mike Malone, go sit on a thumb, right? Like all of that, right? And then all of a sudden Lakers hit that wall and we just couldn't stop anybody. So I have my concerns about the defense. I really do. Defense is a big concern for me. Bronny is 19-year-old, folks. I'll let him grow and develop. Agreed, 100%. Jaime Jaquez would have been starting for us this year. No, he wouldn't. Like he's not better than Rui. He's not starting over Rui. And even then, like Jared Vanderbilt still makes more sense because of his defensive purposes, and you already have the offensive utility. Jaime Jaquez would be probably your 7th guy, but you're also basing it off of what you saw from him last season. My point is that if he went to the Lakers last season, you wouldn't have seen what you saw from him. You're making your assumption, you're making your base on what you saw him do in Miami. Him on the Lakers is not the same thing as him in Miami. He might not ever even play on the Lakers. He might just be rotting on the bench like like Max Christie was. Right? Like that's the difference. Those are the kind of things you gotta keep in mind. I understand your perspective. I understand how you're looking at it, Jordan. Like fully, you're looking at it as, man, look at what Jaime Jaquez was able to do. The versatility, right? His size, his ability to basically be, Swiss Army knife in a lot of ways. That's great, but we don't know if he would have been that with the Lakers. We're going on the assumption because of what we saw, right? Like people got upset about Jaime Jaquez after we saw Jalen Ochefino and Jaime Jaquez actually play, right? Like if you never got to see Jaime Jaquez actually play, then it would have been a different story entirely. Is my point. Jason, coming out the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. First time, long time. What is up, Jason? Who will win it all, and why will it be the Celtics? I'll take your answer of the air. Stu Lives and Terrifier 3 was awesome. I haven't seen Terrifier 3 yet. I definitely got to go see Terrifier 3. I'm excited for that. Definitely looking forward to Terrifier 3. Stu, yeah, you're going to be very disappointed in that. And the Celtics have to worry about the Knicks. Knicks are coming for the Celtics, right? Like, Celtics aren't winning again. You got your ring. Happy for you, Jason. I'm not happy for the Celtics, but you, buddy, I'm happy for you. But yeah, that's it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while you got it. Don't worry. It ain't happening anytime soon. Jaylen Brown will end up elsewhere. Jason Tatum will end up elsewhere. You're going to be very disappointed, my guy. But I appreciate you. No, seriously, in all seriousness, Jason, appreciate you. As always, buddy. Let's see. He would... could have also traded the pick with another team. I mean, it's always a possibility if that was really an option. How is there no fit for him if we need a two-way small forward? Again, you're basing what you saw. One, he wasn't great defensively. I wouldn't really necessarily call him a two-way. I mean, he had his moments, but he wasn't sorry, hang on one second. Whoops. Sorry, trying to pull up the he like I said, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't like Jared Vanderbilt defensively. Yeah, so last season he gave you last season he had 12 points, 4 rebounds, in 28 minutes of action, 1 steal, and I'll be nice and round it up to half a block on 9 field goal attempts per game. He shot 49% from the field and 32.2% from 3. How is that a two-way guy? I mean, seriously, shot 32.2% from 3. Right? Like, again, he had true shooting of 57.4, not terrible. Free throws 81.1. Like again, like I said, he's not. I like Jaime Jaquez a lot, but again, you're basing it off of what he was with Miami last year. he wouldn't have played that role with under Darvin Ham. And yes, he might have gotten minutes this year, but he wasn't going to start this year. He's not playing over Rui. If Jared Vanderbilt's healthy, he's not playing over Jared Vanderbilt. We have Dalton Connect now. And Dalton Connect, and there's questions of like how many minutes does Dalton Connect get? Right? Like JJ looks like a genius EFX. I mean, you already see the differences. You already see the strides. Like you already see what the potential of this team would be. We still would have been better off if we drafted him instead of Jalen. But we don't know that. Like again, you're giving a premature assessment. You're judging. You're basing Jalen Hood-Schifino's future on now. Who's closer to their ceiling? Jalen Hood-Schifino, who is what, 20? How old is he? I think he just turned 21. Let's see. Yeah, let's work this all out. So he is, 21. Oh, come on. Darn it. And then Jaime Jaquez is what, 23, 24? How old is Jaime Jaquez? He's 23. He'll be 24 this season. So you're talking literally a 2.5-year age gap. So what does Jalen Hood-Schifino look like in 2 years compared to Jaime Jaquez? Again, like we don't know what Jalen Hood-Schifino will look like 2, 3, 4 years from now. In 3 years, you might be like, man, like crazy. Like Jalen Hood-Schifino is the best player on the Lakers right now. Like I don't know. I don't know what he's going to be. I know what he's shown. I know glimpses. I know some of what he's been. I just don't know what I can't judge Jalen Hood-Schifino on whether he may or may not be anything. He's shown the signs. That's what you want to see. Like there's things that have looked good, but let's see. What's going on, Andrew? Appreciate you. Let me see. I keep missing the streams. What's up, Andrew? Everyone knows it's you. Everybody. Yeah, the piccolo. Yeah, that was my guess. The DBZ. Yeah. Bro, let's be real. Lakers have to make a trade or they're fried. I don't know if they're fried, but they definitely have to make a trade. I agree that they definitely need a trade. Yeah, the DBZ character GFX. That was my giveaway also. Let's see. Tyler, what it looked like? The game. I mean, the game was highly competitive. Especially that first half was a really good, really high. Ow, your nails are digging into my skin, buddy. There you go. All right, right there. There you go. You can say you're fine. Just quit digging your claws into my leg. It hurts. First half was very competitive. I mean, this was a real game. Like Milwaukee was going after the Lakers, and the Lakers were getting it back. I really liked what we saw in this game. This was a very good, like, test type game. Then you got all the like role guys and guys that are never really going to play, and then they all kind of came in. But the Lakers, like Quincy Olivari, Dalton Connect, guys like that, really did a great job of closing this and getting it done. JJ is a good coach, especially for the offense. Yeah. Yes. But damn, we need to do something. Yeah, especially, like I said, I have a lot of concerns about the defense. Like a lot of concerns about the defense. Honestly, ideally, if we could keep Fraud D'Lo and trade for Bruce Brown. Ideally, they could keep Fraud D'Lo and trade for Bruce Brown and Jeremy Grant. Yeah, I wouldn't hate that either. There's a clear weakness. And there's Andrew weakness. Oh, it's to Andrew. I hope the Dodgers win tomorrow too. Seriously, I'm gonna lose my mind if they don't. Yeah, they really need to win that too. We don't have 2 years. We have a 40-year-old superstar, which is why, again, so you should be arguing we should have traded the pick rather than Jaime Jaquez. Like Jaime Jaquez isn't like we're not winning a championship right now with Jaime Jaquez. Like Jaime Jaquez, like, oh man, we got Jaime Jaquez. Like even as great as he was last year for Miami was still a play-in. They were still terrible, right? Like, and he played more minutes than like outside of 3 guys. He was like third most in minutes, I think, on the team last year, right? Like Jaime, you're arguing like Jaime Jaquez is the difference maker on this team. Like Dalton Connect isn't even going to be the difference maker on this team. Like I think he'll make an impact. I think he'll be good. I think he'll have a role to play. But again, like you should be arguing we should have traded the pick rather than drafting Jalen Trevino. That I could get on board with. That I understand, right? But you're arguing that Jaime Jaquez would be our 9th guy. Like you already have a 9th guy. You're not worried about like Jaime Jaquez isn't going to be the difference. Like it's not like, oh man, now the Lakers have Jaime Jaquez, hand us the chip. Right? If that's the case, go trade both your first, Austin Reeves and whatever else to go get him. Connect is so good, man. Yeah. We definitely need two-way Wayne Walker. Rob Brook Lopez to the Lakers. Rob, I sure hope that's not the case. I hope that I would rather go get Clint Capella than that. Because at least Clint Capella is expiring. Kessler and maybe a point attack 3-and-D player. Yes, I definitely think. Yeah, Bruce Brown, Jakob Poeltl. I've thrown out Jakob Poeltl briefly. So I have a video already posted for the morning about the news from Shams about the big man. Lakers are actively looking for a big man. And then I will. I'm gonna break down a couple of centers and stuff like that going forward. I wanted to make the video earlier today, but then we had like the game at 5, and then I was going to do a live stream. So I was like, if I post that video, the video is going to do terrible because like I'm going to do the live stream and then the game. No one's watching during the game, stuff like that. Tyler, Aferne, Grant, Robert Williams for all of our role players. I would do that in a heartbeat if Robert Williams wasn't hurt again. Robert Williams, that guy cannot stay healthy to save his life. Like that dude got he like broke his thumb or something like that. Like he's supposed to be out for like a couple weeks. Like that dude that guy cannot stay healthy. Yeah, if we got Turner and Hale, to this day, we still probably should have done the Turner and Hale thing. No, I meant what does it look like? Meaning what's happening? Oh, okay. So that's what I thought when I read it. I swear to you, that was my first thought. But then I was like, oh, maybe he just didn't see the game, right? So then I was like, maybe that's what it was. But okay, so all right, so nothing, just hanging out, chilling like that. I swear to you, that was literally my first thought when you were like, "What's happening?" Like I was thinking, like I even played it in my head of like, "What's happening?" Right? Like, but I was like, probably talking about the game, so I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, no, just watch the game, working on videos, working hard as always. Gonna finish up this live stream and then call it a day. What are you doing? Do you need to go potty? And I think she needs to go potty because she's like nipping at my leg. Give me 1 second because I want to kind of answer all the questions. So bear with me 1 second. There we go. Sorry. She was nipping at my leg, which usually she does that. She's trying to get my attention. Usually she does that when she wants to go potty. So I don't want her going potty in the room. I just got over the potty stage like a month ago. Padres are like the Nuggets for the Dodgers. Not a bad way to put it. Yeah. Murray, Bogey, Braun, 80, Turner. You could even start Christie and have Bogey off the bench with how good Max looks, assuming he keeps playing good. Yeah, we could have had that a couple years ago, which would have been nice. Is it going to be good or actually try to win you? Going to be better, but everyone has got. See, I don't necessarily believe that. Like honestly, Andrew, like who's really gotten better? You know, like I don't know. I just we should have traded the pick or picked an NBA ready, so could have helped us this year instead of a project. I mean, trading the pick, yes, I get, but I mean, picking up an NBA ready player 2 years ago that may or may not play. I mean, even Dalton Connect. If Jared Vanderbilt's healthy, like is Dalton Connect even playing this year? And if so, like what type of role, right? Like again, I don't think it really matters, right? Like the Lakers took Jalen Trevino because they liked his long-term potential. They liked what he could have been for the future, and they tried to trade the pick, and they weren't able to do it. So they just like, hey, let's take the upside, guys. Take the guy that we like. Brook Lopez stinks you. And they're paying him like $20 million a year. Yeah, they are the best duo in the NBA. I agree. Bruce Brown and Jeremy Grant is who I've argued. I've said this before. The more that I think about Bruce Brown, and the more that I love the idea of going and getting him, right? Like, and he's 22 million expiring, which means like you can give him a new contract because he's not worth 22 million. And he was going to take the money that Gabe Vincent got. He was actually going to get 11 million a year, right? So you probably give him, your mid-level exception type money. Probably give him 3 years, 36 million, maybe 3 years, like 40 million, something like that. I don't know, somewhere in that ballpark. And then Jeremy Grant, I think if you get Bruce Brown and Jeremy Grant, I think the Lakers win the championship, right? Because you'd have Bruce Brown, Austin Reeves, Jeremy Grant, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. I don't think, if everyone's healthy, I don't think you lose. I think you're the best team in the league at that point. Keep D'Lo, maybe. I wouldn't hate keeping D'Lo, but they're not going to trade Reeves. Like, look, I've made the argument of keeping D'Lo over Reeves, right? Like, especially because D'Lo could shoot. And if you have Bruce Brown and Jeremy Grant, now D'Lo is your fourth, and even some nights, maybe even your fifth option rather than your third. So, like, the games that he's on and he's cooking, you're winning all of those games. The games where he's terrible and nearly unplayable, he's great, right? I don't know if undeniably, but they're arguably the best duo. As far as best duo, just pure duos, I do think it's undeniable. Like, who's a better duo, arguably? I know I saw the Brown and Tatum, but like in comparison, he's not wrong, right? Would you take Tatum over Anthony Davis? I don't think so. And he's not better than LeBron, even at 40, right? Like, and then if you add them in duos, like, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are probably one of the better duos in the league, but I don't like Jamal Murray and Jokic, right? Like, you're not taking Jamal Murray over LeBron or Anthony Davis. And LeBron and AD just outperform both of them. It's our role guys. It's just our role guys have been the problem. Switch AD and Braun for Tatum and Brown on the Celtics team, and they become the best team in NBA history. Yeah, I actually agree with that. They probably don't lose. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think Murray and Jokic are better. Cameron Brown. Yeah, I think if you're talking about just duos, there's LeBron and AD are the best duo. They complement each other the best. Everything. As LeBron and AD straight tour dates and entire playoffs choked in the finals. Like, tricky. Yeah, like if you put LeBron and if you took Jokic and Murray off of the Nuggets and you put LeBron and Anthony Davis, Lakers probably have already won 3 championships. Like, they still win in the bubble because that's who they played in the conference finals. So they still win in the bubble, right? And then they probably have another 2 or 3 championships since then. Knicks got I'm talking about particularly the Western Conference. So you got to look at this. And the East, like, I don't really care about the teams in the East and how much better they got because you're only going to have to play one of them, right? Like, Knicks and Celtics, I think, are tough. Sixers, I still am on the fence with. I need to see them actually perform. But Knicks and Celtics, I think, are the 2 best teams, arguably, in the entire NBA. So definitely, I was concerned with that. Sixers, I still need to see that team work well, and I need to see them in the playoffs. Joel Embiid completely disappears in the playoffs, and so does Paul George. Right? They both just is this another Embiid Harden situation where they both just are unplayable? Right? Like, that's my concern in that regard. But I'm talking about like the West, like Nuggets, Wolves, I think got worse. Clippers got worse. Pelicans, you said Pelicans got better. I don't like Brandon Ingram is miserable right now. Like, they have no center. Brandon Ingram doesn't even want to be there. I mean, he didn't even show up to the players' training camp and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I think that's going to be a disaster. If you swap DeJounte Murray for Brandon Ingram, I think the Pelicans are slightly better, but not much. Like, I don't think that they're really better. Grizzlies, I think Grizzlies are like, I wouldn't be shocked if the Grizzlies are like a top 3 seed, but as far as winning a championship, no. I think the Lakers, if the Lakers play the Grizzlies in the playoffs, I think the Lakers run through the Grizzlies again. Like, I do. I think that they run through them. Grizzlies are small out on the perimeter. Like, I just don't really have a lot of faith in them. OKC definitely, but they didn't solve why the Lakers are a bad matchup against them. So I still think the Lakers beat them in a 7-game series. Like, there's nobody that, like, Sacramento, I think, got worse. Right? Dallas may have gotten better. I don't know. They got to the finals on the back of their defense, right? And Klay Thompson in the offense that Dallas runs makes 0 sense. Zero. I mean, even Mark Cuban did an interview and was talking about hopes and dreams and maybes. Like, I don't really think anyone got really that much better. I've never seen somebody get outshined as much as Tatum. It's disrespectful to even call him a superstar, honestly, to do anything to defend him. But if he didn't have that supporting cast, it's the Golden Eagle. Okay. At least people can't complain about not winning any preseason games. Yeah, facts. Absolute facts. Let's see. D'Lo got to go. He probably is at some point. Got to get rid of D'Lo and Reeves, to be honest. I don't mind keeping one of them if you get the right pieces, right? Like, if Reeves can figure out how to shoot again, then, like, I'll keep him, right? He's been very good defensively. His problem is he can't shoot. It's like he completely forgot how to shoot the basketball. If he can get back to shooting the basketball and you can go get a Bruce Brown alongside him, then yes, I'm fine. Keep Reeves, right? But that's the problem. What do I think about Ham's quote? I haven't seen it yet. I've been on the live stream. But I'll definitely have to go look at it. Let's see. Sorry, trying to find some stuff to me. Heavily protected first for Zach LaVine, so other teams can stop trying to fleece us for 2 firsts. Sorry, Portland. You're only getting 1 first round for Grant. I would love. You can't give up a first for Zach LaVine. You just can't. I love the idea of getting Zach LaVine. I want Zach LaVine terribly, but Chicago was talking about giving up, like adding assets. Like, literally, they were talking about adding assets to unload Zach LaVine. I think if you're the Lakers, you wait and see if he's healthy. If you give it like 30 games, you see what does he look like? Is he healthy? Is he playing well? And if he does, then you go and make the deal. But you can't give up assets. It either has to be neutral or you're getting assets. Let's see. I think the Cavs will make a play for Brandon Ingram. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Especially if the Cavs kind of struggle a little bit. Imagine if we lost the entire Lakers fan base would be acting different right now. Lakers lose. World is going to blow up in a week. Yeah, usually how it goes. Let's see. Sorry, trying to find something for me. Lakers are good. We just need the one piece and a center. Yeah, definitely need a center. And then, like I said, we need like a legit 3-and-D guy. Yeah, we should be getting a first family. Yeah, agreed. All right, I'm going to get out of here in a moment. Taking on the contract, and he might not be healthy come playoffs. If anything, get 2 first. We should be getting 2 first or anything. I mean, he's good. Like, he's worth, like, if you can just do it even, like a salary swap, I think it's worth the risk. I think, like I said, you give it the first 25, 30 games. You kind of just make sure he's healthy. You look for signs of, like, wear and tear, and is he breaking down? Or you got to remember, like, he's played before last season, he played 77 games and 67 games. And then he played, like, I think it was like 60, I think it was like 68, 52, something like that. Like, so as long as he's giving you like 60 to 65 games a season, you're fine. Yeah, Rui definitely got to put back. He should be averaging 20. I mean, he shot well. It's just the defense. The defense is really concerning with him. All right. So yeah, and then there's just you guys talk. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna skate on out of here. And I gotta start getting videos and stuff ready to go for tomorrow. A lot of stuff to talk about, and I want to see what the quote and stuff people have been throwing in the chat that I need to go check out. But appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Seriously, thank you so very much for hanging out with me. On the way out, make sure to like the video if you haven't liked the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. All that stuff. You guys are awesome. I really do appreciate you, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.